Hey everybody, welcome back to Gratuity. I'm your host, Darin. Thank you to everyone who's reached out and gotten in touch in the last week. We are so happy about the engagement and the response to the first 2 episodes of the series. If you want to get involved, if you have a story to tell, or if you just have any questions, please email us at gratuity@tastemade.com. We are absolutely honored to be joined by Othón Nolasco, who's a co-founder and partner of Vala Hospitality here in Los Angeles. He and his partners, Aaron Melendrez and Damian Diaz, have recently launched a charity for undocumented back-of-house workers called Know Us Without You LA. They are taking donations and organizing groceries for people who are food insecure and do not have access to the government services that people who are documented do. They are doing incredible work, and we talk about how you can get involved, what people are putting in their pantries, and what it really takes to feed a family of 4 for a week. If you want more information, please go to the description below where we have included some links where you can donate. So please enjoy some gratuity. Hey, Othón, thank you so much for joining us on Gratuity. We really appreciate you taking out time of your busy schedule. We know that you guys are running the hospitality business, but you also have Know Us Without You LA. So thank you.
Oh, thanks for making time for us. And hospitality business is shut down like everyone else. So this is our full-time job now.
So I know that you're doing a lot of work right now and focusing on a lot of the undocumented workers who are in the back of the house in restaurants. But I'd love to just pull back a little bit to give a little bit of insight to how many types of these workers make up the restaurant industry.
I spent the past few days talking to several dozen general managers, AGMs, sous chefs, and asking their opinion on this. I was originally thinking it was somewhere between like 40 and 45. I was told I was very much mistaken, that number is higher. It's about 75 to 90% of the percentage are undocumented back of the house workers.
And a lot of the time, these people are not on the floor. They're not seen by a lot of guests, but They're very much the backbone and the lifeblood of restaurants, of getting food out and things like that. And will become really essential workers in relaunching the restaurant industry and the hospitality industry when everything gets back to whatever the new normal is.
Agreed 100%. They are the backbone of every restaurant and bar. You think about just those deliveries coming in every day for that day's service and breaking everything down, putting everything away, organizing, prepping everything, getting everything washed and reset after prep in the kitchen so that the front of the house can just tidy up, get camera ready, and be ready for service. So they're going to be the ones that are going to be restarting, reigniting all these kitchens.
Pre-pandemic, can you paint a picture of what a normal work day or the life was of an undocumented back-of-house worker?
Life is work and family. Most people we know work in 2, sometimes 3 jobs to make ends meet, especially if you have a family, a young family. We all know how expensive childcare is in America, and you have to kind of make a hard choice. If you have young children, like who's going to watch them? How much does that cost? Is it better for one spouse to work 2 jobs and then their off time, they're watching the kids while, the husband or the wife then goes out and works while they're at home? But the majority of it is work. Not uncommon to have 2 or 3 jobs. Like I said, doubles are norm. Whenever you hear someone complain about working a 4-hour shift, 5-hour shift, it pales in comparison to, 14, 15, 16-hour days where, a prep cook might be working at one restaurant, getting all the stuff prepped, and then they got to race, to a different neighborhood and become a line cook or a dishwasher. I mean, this is a very hustle-oriented people that are really trying to provide for their families, not just in America, but, a lot of times it means if you're the one that's in Los Angeles, let's say, and you have 2, 3 jobs, you're living great, you're living the American dream, working. Yeah. You're sending money back home to Central America or Mexico to provide for that family. So it's about work. And, I know Sunday's like the sacred day. If possible, getting Sunday off to spend with the family is like the one ask usually in that schedule. But it's 2 or 3 jobs and working, a lot of work.
A lot of these workers were the first to lose their jobs in the pandemic. What do their lives look like now?
Being undocumented is just uncertainty. There's no safety net. There's not a lot of resources for them. And, one of the first things we noticed noticed was that everyone was, I don't want to say everyone, but a lot of bars are doing GoFundMes, and nobody was really mentioning back of the house, porters and dishwashers. Everyone kind of forgot about that and was kind of just worried about bar staff. And for undocumented back of the house workers, there's no unemployment coming. These great shortcuts and fast tracking that they've done recently to cut out the waiting period, like they're not eligible for that. They're paying into the system, payroll tax, they're getting taxed like everyone else. They're just not going to see, not a dollar of that bailout that's coming, that they're voting on right now, like nothing.
I mean, that's one of the things that people normally get wrong about undocumented workers is that they pay taxes, they pay into the system, but they're also the ones who are at most risk for not getting any services or anything that is going to happen on a government, federal, state level and things like that. But not only that, there's a certain fear that goes into asking the government for help or needing to rely on the government for fear of getting deported. So,
very real.
So what is available to them, or how do they feel right now about needing to lean into the system that they're paying into?
I mean, there are some great nonprofit organizations that help at different levels. A lot of them, like my fiance is the director of communications for Al Otro Lado, which provides this free legal advice and helps them navigate the system of citizenship, the path to citizenship, as well as asylum for reuniting separated families, But everyone that's been established that has a nonprofit, they're beyond maxed out. There's so many more people that need help than there's extra resources. Those are all privately funded, no one's giving them any tax money. That's why we kind of decided to do what we did.
Yeah, I mean, you yourself are first generation American with your parents coming from Mexico along with your partner. I'm sure you're seeing their plight as something that's close to home and something that made you want to shift what you were doing out of just normal hospitality into the No Us Without You LA.
My father's born in Mexico. My mom's family came over before then. One of my partners, Damian, both his parents are, born in Mexico. Aaron's family as well. So it's very close to home. We understand what it meant for our families and like everyone else's family to, come to the United States, try to get a better life, just opportunity to work and work hard so that, our generation could benefit from their hard work. And I don't see any differently now. I don't think like anything's changed. There's still that drive.
I mean, it's a huge drive, and it's a huge drive about community. People who come not just to work in the restaurant industry, but any immigrant community is going to come and coalesce around people who they know and share traditions with them and congregate together. And I just love that you guys, especially in this time of need, are offering those services for these types of people.
I mean, thank you. Everyone's got to eat. And that was probably the biggest driving force. Right. Was that we were standing around talking to each other and we were worried, like, what's going to happen when people can't even afford to buy their family's food? Like, what's a mom going to tell her little son or daughter that is hungry that there's no food coming? There's no money for food. Paycheck to paycheck, not unlike most people in the service industry. I don't think that very many people learn the finer aspects of finance in a bar or restaurant as they should. They're kind of just hustling, trying to make ends meet. LA is a very expensive city. Whether you're front of the house or back of the house, it's hard to save money, in this business. And I think that a lot of people just don't have the resources or the educational aspect presented to them. Like, hey, like what happens if, you break your leg and you can't work or get sick and God forbid you can't work? How are you going to pay rent? Hopefully you'd have family that could help you out, but not everyone has that. Not everyone has a wealthy family or has a big safety net of, even just friends that can help them out. They're just we're all in the same boat. Most of us, we're just trying to get by. So unfortunately, the only people who are going to help us like immediately are our friends and family and peers.
I really want to talk about the organization that you started, No Us Without You LA, because as you just touched on, one of the scariest things is not knowing how you're going to pay for food or where you're going to eat, how you're going to feed your kids, your family, things like that. So I'd love for you to talk a little bit about what your organization is doing and what the response has been in the first couple of weeks that you've launched.
I think food's the big thing. I mean, I don't want to speak for you, but we've all paid rent late before. It's nothing to be proud of. But with initiatives now where landlords and renters are going to be working together, and we all need to, be able to work within the systems that like locally, like Mayor Garcetti's office has put in place so no one has to worry about getting evicted, and there will be some buffer. I just hope that, a lot of these predatory landlords, at least to undocumented immigrants, won't be, using scare tactics and trying to push people out that actually have rights. The thing with food is that no one I know is starving. Are we all not spending money because every bar and restaurant's closed? Absolutely. But that being said, there's a lot of people that we've met recently that work at some of the best restaurants in the city. And I think it would shock a lot of people and probably upset a lot of people that they didn't know how food insecure many of the hardworking brothers and sisters in our industry are. Not having this stockpile of food and having the bare minimum in the cupboard. My partners, Damian, Diaz, and Aaron Melendrez, Aaron actually came up with the name No Us Without ULA, which I think is great because it kind of says it all. We just decided that, hey, like, you know, we each have a couple of bucks that we can go tomorrow, go buy food at a, you know, wholesale place and put some kits together and kind of see what does it cost to feed a family of 4. So we did that and, you know, just started reaching out to some of our friends, telling them what we're doing. They were super supportive. They started sending us money to help, you know, basically sponsor our family. Then just went full on, you know, applied for the LLC and did the nonprofit application, which does take a little bit of time, but it's in, and hopefully we'll have that, you know, sooner than later. We paid for it to be expedited. What matters now is that the money that people are giving us to feed undocumented families, that's what we're doing. Every single dollar is going towards that. We're fortunate enough, like I'm in our office right now, you know, we're not having to spend all this money on infrastructure to like get a place or, you know, clear out a room in our house or a garage to do this. We have a big built next to 12 building with plenty of space, and it's secure enough where, you know, 2 or 3 of us can work socially distant and not be on top of each other, sanitizing everything we bring in, being mindful of our families and the families that are coming to get food, and, you know, wearing gloves, wearing masks, making sure that, you know, we're not cross-contaminating anything, and we're also not exposing our families to the virus that's going on right now. $33 can feed a family of 4 for 1 week. Now, this isn't fun, sexy food like we talked about earlier. You know, it's staples. It's rice, it's beans, tortillas, you know, flour. Google bread now on Instagram, you know, or online. Everyone's making bread, you know, everyone's baking.
Bread. You can't find flour. Yeast is like the hottest commodity right now.
I know. One of my really good friends has been looking for a specific type of flour to feed his starters, and he's like freaking out because his starters are going to die that he's had for, you know, like a couple of years now.
Oh, yeah. But, you know, $33 is such a manageable amount of money for people to wrap their heads around. That's lunch. That's a round of drinks, not even, depending on where you go. That's maybe 2 drinks. And it's amazing that you guys were able to work with these local partners to buy in bulk and to get the price down where someone who has the means to say, here's $33, I'm not even going to really notice it, but it can feed a family of 4 for a week. And the amount that you can help these people it's like a beautiful thing.
It feels good. You know, I don't know how to describe seeing a mother like, thank you, and like hold back tears and say like, we're going to eat like this week, kids. And then, you know, my partner, Damian, you know, explains to them in Spanish that like, not just this week, like next week, we're going to set up another delivery for you. You know, like we got you as long as we can. You know, if we got to sell old comic books and baseball cards to like make some more money, like we'll do it. Luckily, we've had very generous donations, and, you know, we've had people give us $1, you know, and that's great. You know, if every one of our Instagram followers gave us $1, like, you know, we'd be great. So we don't look down upon any donation. We've had some very generous donations higher up too. But yeah, I'll take $1 and I'll add that in with the rest of the food that my partners can buy, and we'll feed everyone.
So in addition to providing food and working with restaurateurs, what other services are you providing or hoping to provide during the pandemic?
We've obviously talked about trying to like expand and grow, and we have to be really careful because right now we have about 106 families as of Saturday that we'll be supporting. So we have to just focus on, we have enough money today. If, you know, we didn't get $1 more, we could feed them for 6 weeks more. So that's a good feeling to have. We want to grow it. And, you know, just the outreach with some friends, local bakery, coffee shop, Minotti's gave us a bunch of milk that is organic, like beautiful clover milk. Expensive milk, and
good milk.
It's good milk, yeah. To give to people, it was awesome to put that in the kits. One of our really good friends, Chef Royce Burke.
Shout out to Royce.
Oh, he's the best, man. That guy lasagna.
Yeah, he launched a secret lasagna pop-up general store.
Yeah, I love lasagna. And if you don't love lasagna, I don't know if we could be friends, but he approached us with every sale is going to garner a certain amount of donation. He's got it all figured out. But he's basically going to make like half-sheet lasagnas for families. We'll go pick them up once a week. And as a supplement to the, you know, the basic nourishment that we're giving these families, like he's going to give a lot of families some delicious lasagnas. So I'm so grateful for that because I know he could donate to anyone in this industry and it'd make a difference.
You know, it's important to understand that while people are going to be getting through this pandemic with what we're calling the unsexy food, right, staples and things like that, which is in many ways what you need to think about when you're thinking about cooking. This is not the Saturday night dinner party.
Yeah, no.
In a brunch.
I'm making a tomahawk, yeah.
Yeah, this is not that. This is just like putting up food for the family. It's such an incredible thing when you can have a little bit of fancy food, a little bit of your taste, because it means a lot. Like, it means so much during this time to really dig into something that you love to eat. And it's so great that you can be working with a partner that is saying, like, I understand that, you know, of the 21 meals a week, 20 of them may have to be these like tightening our belts, digging in deep meals, but that 21st meal is going to be something special. And it gives people a lot of respect and a lot of hope that someone's cooking for them in many ways when they've cooked for so many people in their entire career.
That's very key. If nothing else, I hope that we all think about how fortunate we are. I know it's something that's really hit home for my partners and I. Like, someone always has it way worse than you, and like works harder for that, like lesser existence, if you will, as far as like the struggle, having to face like a lot more adversity. And we're very fortunate to be living in America right now. It could be a lot better, and it will be better because people that I see every day that are being, you know, unselfish and donating their time and the little bit of money they have. I mean, people that are out of work, like that we know, that we've met one time, are like, hey, like, I don't have a lot of money, but I'm going to send you guys $25, you know?
That's incredible, and speaks to, I guess, the nerve that you've hit with what you've done. You know, one of the most amazing stories I saw was one of the prep cooks who celebrated his birthday.
That was so cool.
Food that you give him. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, it's someone we've known for a long time and worked with before. And, you know, he was like, yeah, it's my birthday tomorrow. We're like, oh, it's so awesome. Happy birthday. He's like, dude, my mom's gonna be able to like make us a little mini feast at home now. You know, he sent us like videos and pictures of his mom supplementing the meal with, you know, the tortillas and the rice and the beans that we had given him. It was cool. It just felt really good.
Being able to provide insight also and knowledge of how to feed yourself, even if you don't need to rely on your programs, people are still looking for those types of advice. Can you share some advice for those who are stocking their kitchens, their pantries, maybe for the first time now for this type of situation? I mean, obviously for this type of situation, but if you've never gone through like Hurricane Sandy, or you never gone through something like that, like, what are the staples when people go to the grocery store? What should they be looking for to have on their shelves to sort of weather the storm?
I mean, I think if you go to the stores now, you kind of see like what everyone's been buying, you know, all the bread, all the tortillas, all the rice and beans, and a lot of the proteins are gone. It's like the first thing gets hit. I think it's just food we grew up with, you know, before we started eating fancy Michelin star quality food and being spoiled. There was always a pot of beans in like pretty much everyone, or rice, you know, a rice cooker full of rice in everyone that I know, their family's homes. And I think it's a reconnection with like our childhood and realizing that, like, imagine being a little kid right now and not having to worry about food. Like, it's rice, there's beans, like, you know, there's potato tacos, what have you, but there's food. You know, you're going to get food in your belly, and it's going to be good because it's going to be made with love. You know, I always tell people that we're really fortunate to get these like family meals. You know, we get there at 12:45, 2 p.m. And the prep cooks have been there since, you know, 8 a.m. and they're sitting down to eat, and we're walking in. They're like, hey, do you guys want a plate? You know, and like, they don't have to cook for us. Like, we just got there all hungover. And, you know, it's great when they show that love and they make you some tacos, and they make you a big salad or whatever they're making for that day, a big bowl of pasta. And it feels great to get back to them and to share with them the food that is coming from a place of love.
I mean, love is such a big part of this, right? Like that love that you can share, and the food part of it is a really way that you can share your love with people. People are probably also looking what to cook outside of what to buy. What have you been cooking? What have you seen people have been cooking? What do you see as like some of the love that people have been sharing through food, through their kitchens right now?
Like I said, everyone's making bread. I think a lot of people that actually like know how to, like, in theory, know how to make pasta by hand have been doing it. That's really cool. You know, they've been buying up all that flour. I think that as an industry, and like a lot of our peers have picked up a lot along the way. You know, when you've asked, you know, a line cook or a sous chef, like, hey, how do you do that? And they tell you, you know, if like, hey, I'm having like a special date, like, can you help me like run through a little quick menu? You know, so I think it's great seeing people actually focusing on maybe simpler foods, a little more rustico, if you will, but hearty and filling and made with love. For us, a lot of pasta, a lot of rice, and, you know, kind of rationing those proteins, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I feel like a lot of people are just leaning into those carbohydrate comfort foods.
Everyone was gluten-free like a month ago. Not anymore, right? I haven't heard about it.
So I want to bring it back a little bit to the undocumented workers. And as this pandemic stretches out, what can they expect Do you see people hunkering down? Do you see people staying in the States? Do you see maybe people looking to return to their countries of origin? What do you think is going to happen, and what do you think they're going to do?
They're scared. Everyone I've talked to is really scared. I think that fear is going to keep them kind of just riding out as long as they can. A lot of people don't have a luxury of going back home, say you can never go home again. A lot of people came from unsafe places or, really, really impoverished places. So going back home isn't really an option. There's things that we actually have realized in talking to some of our friends that are smarter than us about even how we do food deliveries. We're not going to have anyone pick up food from our office anymore, because what if ICE grabbed a family that was picking up food from you guys at your office?
I didn't think of that.
Neither do we, and it really bothered us last night. We got a new system that we're going to implement, and that's never going to be a problem ever again. We'll never put anyone at that risk again. Yeah, but I'd say just fear. I think that they have lots to be worried about. There's no definitive answer of what's going to happen to them.
How can people support, in addition to obviously donating money, but where can they donate money, and how can they help get the word out?
You know what? I think we've made it pretty easy for people to donate. We've been trying to show our work as we go and explain exactly how much pounds of rice people are getting in these kits. And as we're getting better pricing, we're adding more food. People like Seco Lasagna, Chef Royce, giving us, extra food. Biggest thing that people that maybe don't have, $30 to spare, what we've been asking people to do is just maybe tag a friend or a family member that is a little better off, that is in a position to help out. That's huge, because that's how grassroots movements start, is just word of mouth. Yeah. So we've been having a lot of people and a lot of friends repost, tag, also referring families that need help that maybe don't know what's going on Instagram because they don't have, an IG, because it's time to worry about that nonsense. So we've actually gotten a lot of referrals for families and set them up with food deliveries. So I think that people, if they just keep undocumented workers in their minds and in their hearts, and maybe connect one or two of their friends, if everyone did that, then we'd be great.
I mean, you talk about a grassroots organization, and now that you got the nonprofit going and you did all the right paperwork, I have to imagine that when this situation slows down, you're going to want to keep the charity going. So what do you have for the future? What do you have lined up for Know Us Without You once we get through this situation?
My partners and I have always tried to help out where we can, and we've tried to align ourselves with charities that hit home and usually involve, undocumented immigrants, because that's who we feel is at the greatest risk. And before this whole COVID-19 shut down all the restaurants and bars in Los Angeles and most of the country, we were planning a big fundraiser for our dear friends who started a library in rural Oaxaca, the owners of Real Minero. Graciela and her brother did this great thing. They built this library in their hometown, and in doing so, they created this great monster. The town's very rural and very impoverished, so they spent their own money, built this library. Then they bought the kids bikes because it was taking so long for them to travel to the library. And the kids are there all day. They're studying. They get hungry. You can't learn if you're hungry, so they built a kitchen. And in 1 year, they exhausted all the money that was their money. No one helped them out with this as far as the government or any, charities besides, a few friends they had. And so they were kind of stuck halfway with building an addition to the library. They built a center for the arts, for music and for actual physical arts. So they had just enough money to complete the basic construction, get it, dried in. We had proposed that we throw this big charity concert benefit at a local venue in Boyle Heights called Don Quixote. The owner, Mitch Edelson, who owns El Cid, and Los Globos, one of our clients, generous enough to let us use the venue for free. So once everything is safe for people to get back out there, we're going to have a big, huge party and raise a bunch of money and be able to buy music instruments and, digital art systems for the kids. And that's going to be one of our focuses is helping these kids in Oaxaca. And then I think food security, it's something that we really think is important, and make sure people are food secure in LA that are at most risk.
Yeah, because that number doesn't change. It's still $33 after the pandemic.
Right.
Of $4 for a week. There does seem to be some hope. Maybe there is a silver lining to all this, but do you think that undocumented workers might come out better on the other side?
I hope so. I hope that, the next time we have an election, it won't be like the last time, and, we get the president we deserve as a nation. in Donald Trump because a lot of people were worried about a lot less important things than voting. So hopefully everyone, rocks the vote, if you will, from that term from the 90s, and really educates themselves on what local, state, and federal laws and policies apply to them and their loved ones. And hopefully most people in LA will see that we need to take care of people that work really hard to feed us, and they will fight and try to rally legislation so that we can get the path to citizenship become a lot more clearly defined thing.
Well, listen, thank you so much for all of your hard work. Othón, if people want to support, donate, follow along, where can they go?
On our website, valahospitality.la, we have a whole page for Know Us Without You LA. Also our Instagram, Know Us Without You. We have a really easy setup for PayPal. You don't need a PayPal account. You can donate $1 or $1 million, whatever you got lying around, and we'll take it and feed people.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much. We appreciate it. Keep doing that good work. And please, if you're watching or listening, please donate to this amazing cause. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Darin. Yeah, everyone be safe. Take care of your families.
Thank you again to Othón Nolasco and Vala Hospitality for their incredible work that they're doing with Know Us Without You LA. If you want to get involved or donate, like we said, there are links in the description below. Please donate if you can, or just spread the word, tag them on Instagram. Anything can help. $1, $2, $33 feeds a family of 4 for a week. It's really amazing what they've been able to do. And if you want to get involved with Gratuity here at Tastemade, or have a story to share, or just want to say how much you enjoyed the show, or if you'd like to see us focus on anything else, please email us at gratuity@tastemade.com. Thank you so much, and we will see you next time.